Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. This may come out of the blue, but where do you see yourselves in 5 years from now? What do you think you will be doing? Some might think it's impossible to imagine what you will be doing in 5 years when you have not yet decided what to eat for dinner. Or perhaps there are those among you who wonder why we need to think about 5 years from now, when the present moment is so enjoyable. However, I want to all of you to take a moment and think about what you will be doing in 5 years. The critical time frame here isn't 10 over 20 years, it's 5 years, because it's a near future. We can imagine it realistically. It allows us to reflect on our current selves and set aside goals. Here, let me share my journey. I was born and raised in China, and next year marks my 30 years in Japan. I work in IT company. I run a business in Tokyo that focuses of IT consulting. Since founding my company in 2006, I've never appeared at a loss. Thankfully, our clients provide positive feedback, and our employees are satisfied with growth and oriented environment we cultivate. However, the past 2 years I started today was far from easy. Before coming Japan, I had one clear dream: to live in Japan, which was one of the most advanced countries back then. To come to Japan, I had to do the amount of paperwork. As you can imagine, it was mentally and physically exhausting. So I started working on it and gave up again and again. However, one day I chatting with my roommates that I realized that if I missed another chance, my dream would never come true. So I pictured what I wanted my life to be like 5 years. I was determined to becoming someone who takes actions. In December 1995, I moved to Japan to study economics in Fukuoka. People often refer to Japanese way of thinking as wagokoro. This concept, wanting those helped need by human relationships, wagokoro allows the Japanese to achieve amazing things as a community. The Japanese culture of helping those in need has helped me many times. In Japan, most people believe you don't have to face your trouble alone. Whenever I need to help both at work or in everyday life, people around me helped, which led us to, from a stronger connection, our communication become much smoother, and work started to follow better. Having mastered Japanese to some extent, I decided to work toward understanding Wagokoro. In Japan, most people believe that understanding this mindset must to be a successful in Japan. So once again, I imagined myself 5 years into the future as a foreigner to understand and practice Wagokoro that most Japanese people naturally learn. I decided to gain more experience in the center of Japan. And in 1997, after 2 years living in Japan, I get a tech role in Tokyo to manage customer service applications. When working in the company, I made sure to actively communicate both in the workplace and in my personal life with those around me entirely in Japanese. I wanted to learn more about Wagokoro from a Japanese person's point of view and what is better, why this to do through the Japanese language. However, the more I tried to understand Wagokoro, the more I realized two other things about Wagokoro. First, other point I found is a stronger group mindset, which in a sense makes Japan Japan. Of course, working as a group can be a feasible thing. In Japan, generally, the member who completed their works first helps the member who has not finished yet. All member work together to achieve one single goal. Coming from a foreign country, I was very impressed by this. However, a stronger care for a group can also be negative. In Japan, internal decision process can take forever. When I work within Japanese country, we often waited more than 18 months to decision to make it. In Japanese companies, it is often the case that the internal processes are prioritized over the company profits, which in the fast-paced world in life in today is not fast enough. Following this process also causes frequent overtime. When working, in my opinion, it was better to make the decision process shorter, so we all can finish works in working hours and enjoy our time after work. On the other hand, in Chinese company, decision maker always attend the meetings, which makes processes fast. The second other point of Wagokoro I noticed was the culture of too much humbleness. If having a humble attitude is great when listening to others' opinion, which in the Japanese culture that I respect. However, to have others value you, sometimes you need to actively promote your achievement. Working in Japan, I feel that Japanese people don't realize how much they have, because they are too humble. For example, let's share Mr. A Chinese national, and Mr. B, a Japanese national. They are both developed a big system in company. I first talk to Mr. A saying, Mr. A, the system you developed this time is wonderful. In this case, Mr. A, he is happened that his work is approved, and started talking details of the development. Like this function works well, and this one we had some trouble, but we were able to fix it. I am sure he will that told me all the details until my ears. Next, I went to Mr. B. Can you imagine what his reaction was? No, Mr. Lee, it is not like that. I couldn't have done this alone. When I first saw a person like Mr. B at work, I thought, what wasted opportunity? Why not give themselves credit when the work so hard to get results? Not giving yourselves credit for your gains is a missed golden chance. You are probably wondering why you must call attention to your success to the company. If you are too humble, it is difficult for the others realize the challenge you are overcome. I also work in IT, where it is common that the technology of last year is already old this year. To survive as a company, we must keep on adding new things to the market. And the methodologies officially shared from all employees can be of great help. 7 years after leaving Tokyo, I founded my company. I then created a 5-year plan where I wanted my company to be. I decided to run the company combining the best parts of Japanese and Chinese. However, I also want to boost individuality by creating an environment each can experience their opinions. I aimed for the company to becoming a place with employees can grow at the same time as the company. For this, I set some rules for the company. For example, I decided to make sure what yes and no means. So there are no people saying yes when they mean no. What helps make sure each employee is assigned to what they do best, which helps the company grow as the result. And my company, no one answers questions with maybe or I don't know. All employees express their opinions and even get scolded if they're down. This leads us to more earnest communication with the company, where employees' opinions can be put into action. Second, I handled company's issue by introducing a culture of bragging to push employees to share their achievement with each other. Imagine you are working for a traditional Japanese company. You would never go to your boss saying, "Boss, I just got an approval for this project. Don't you think I did awesome?" What do you think would happen? Japanese respect for one's role can be a good thing, but most of the time, it's creates space in between employees. So lastly, I set a role for all employees to call each other by some. In Japanese company, people often call each other by their last name followed by their job title, like represent. When you address someone using their job title, you are always reminded that you are in a different position than the other person. You may think this is just a small change, but the changing the way we address each other has brought in more opinion from all employees than even before. My goal in first 5 years of the company was to create this corporate culture and, of course, to keep the company profitable. It has now been 19 years since then. I experienced many issues and challenges along the way. However, what motivated me was my ideal image of myself and the company in 5 years. Now, finally, let me share a little bit of my ideal vision in 5 years. In 5 years, I plan to expand my company online medical consultation applications all around the world. Of course, this will not be easy. I will face lots of challenges, but I will never stop asking myself, where do I want to be in 5 years, and work to have it come true. Now, I ask you all again, where do you see yourselves in 5 years, and what do you think you will be doing? Thank you.